हेलो स्टूडेंट्स, गुड मॉर्निंग एंड वेलकम टू अनदर लेक्चर ऑफ फिजिक्स। आज के इस वीडियो लेक्चर में वी आर गोइंग टू डिस्कस अबाउट हर्ट्ज एक्सपेरिमेंट एंड द ऑब्जर्वेशन विच ही मेड इन हिज एक्सपेरिमेंट, as well as we are going to discuss about Hallwich observations and Liner's observation and his experiment. So these are the things which we are going to discuss in our today's video lecture. Remember, this was an important contribution made by these scientists for the development of photoelectric effect, right? So let us quickly start with Hertz experiment. What was the main aim of Hertz experiment? So what was Hertz experiment? Basically, Maxwell was the person who developed the theory of waves or wave theory of electromagnetic radiations. Maxwell wave theory, you are knowing like this, right? It is known as Maxwell wave theory. Now, according to this wave theory, light is also an electromagnetic wave was an important conclusion made by him, right? Then he wanted that someone should use his concept to produce electromagnetic waves in laboratory. ही उसकी ये इच्छा थी कि कोई उसके कॉन्सेप्ट का यूज करके इलेक्ट्रोमैग्नेटिक वेव्स लैब में प्रोड्यूस करे, क्लियर? एंड नियरली आफ्टर 32 years of Maxwell theory, Hertz was the scientist who got success in producing electromagnetic waves in lab. So the first scientist who got success in producing electromagnetic waves in lab was Hertz. Right, this I think we have discussed in detail in chapter 8. If you have not gone through it, I think we have discussed about Hertz experiment and all that in brief in chapter 8, right? So if you have not gone through those videos, please see that video to get a clear concept that who was Hertz, what was the Maxwell theory of electromagnetic radiations and all that. Now let us discuss the experimental arrangement for Hertz experiment. So here initially he took an induction coil. So he took an induction coil and from one end of the induction coil current was entering, and let us say from here current was coming out. Current will enter from here, it will flow to the coil and it will come out from the other side, right? This was induction coil. Why induction coil? To produce a large potential difference, a very high potential difference across what? So here he connected two metallic rods. Right, so here he connected two metallic rods in such a way that there is a small gap between these two rods. These are metallic rods. This also, right? Metallic rod, MR, with a small gap between them, and this gap was given name as spark gap. It was given name as spark gap. So with the help of this induction coil, he can generate a large potential difference between these two rods. Here these two rods were behaving like an inductor, right? These two rods were behaving like an inductor. Now what do you mean by inductor? You will come across this inductor in chapter 6, electromagnetic induction, right? So there we will discuss what is inductor, what is its role, like capacitor, resistor. We have a device known as inductor which helps in electromagnetic induction. So that we are going to discuss in our chapter 6. I know that chapter is left, so after this chapter we are going to discuss about that only. So these rods were behaving like an inductor. Now a special arrangement was made in such a way that two metallic spheres were attached to these rods. Two metallic spheres were attached to these rods. These are metallic sphere. Now, the arrangement was such that these two spheres can roll towards each other. ये दोनों sphere एक दूसरे की तरफ roll कर सकते हैं, right? And they will meet each other, or you can say that they will touch each other at this spark gap. जो spark gap है वहाँ पे ये दोनों sphere will touch each other. They will touch each other, right? Now, initially, let us say this sphere is Q1 and this sphere is Q2. Initially, suppose Q1 is positively charged and Q2 is negatively charged. एक sphere positively charged है, and the another one is negatively charged, and a large potential difference is there, right? So when two spheres, these two spheres, which out of those one is positively charged and the another one is negatively charged, having high potential difference, will touch each other, then a spark will be produced, right? You can see that if you can buy a battery of 9 volt which is available in market, right? Now for that battery, if you connect the positive and negative terminal of that battery, you will find some small spark produced over there. Clear? और एल्स मान लो आप कहीं पे अपनी कार की या बाइक की बैटरी रिचार्ज करवाने जाते हो, राइट? सो देयर व्हेन द बैटरी इज रिचार्ज, अगर आप उसका पॉजिटिव और नेगेटिव टर्मिनल ज्वाइन करोगे, देन यू विल फाइंड दैट अ स्पार्क विल बी प्रोड्यूस, राइट? दैट स्पार्क वाज प्रोड्यूस हियर. रिमेंबर, if and only if a positive and negative sphere will come in contact with each other, दोनों sphere जब एक दूसरे के contact में आएंगे, then only spark will be produced. It is not like that कि एक sphere में से electron travel करके दूसरे sphere पे गया, right, and spark is produced. No. Actually, we will see in Lienard's experiment that electron when travels from emitter to collector, spark will not be produced, right? So in the same way, these two sphere will touch each other, then only the spark will be produced, right? So what will happen? Sphere Q2 will roll towards Q1 and Q1 will roll towards Q2, and both will touch each other somewhere over here. Let us draw somewhere over here. Let us say this is Q1 and here Q2. So they both this sphere will touch each other at spark gap. As a result, a spark will be produced, and it was found that this spark is nothing but an electromagnetic wave, an EM wave. Clear? To detect this electromagnetic wave, a receiver, or you can call a detector, was kept over here. This was also working on the principle of electromagnetic inductions, which we are not going to discuss over here, right? So ye waves receiver will receive, right? Now this was the experimental setup, and he got success in producing electromagnetic wave in the lab for the first time. Later on, many other scientists got success in producing electromagnetic wave, as well as to transmit electromagnetic wave from one place to another place. Our Indian scientist J.C. Bose also got success in producing electromagnetic waves in the range of 5 mm to 25 mm and all that, right? So he got success in producing electromagnetic waves for the first time. Now while performing this experiment, this was his experiment. Now what he observed over here? So while performing this experiment, he found that if a UV light is allowed to fall on these metal spheres, then the electromagnetic waves get enhanced. What does this means? एक बहुत ही सिंपल लैंग्वेज में अगर हम बात करें तो वी हैव टू स्फीयर्स. लेट अस से दिस इज स्फीयर Q1 which is positively charged, and we have sphere Q2 which is negatively charged. So spark will be produced only when these two spheres will touch each other. Spark will be produced only when these two spheres will touch each other due to high potential difference between them, right? So when UV light was allowed to fall on any particular sphere, metallic sphere, out of these two, UV rays were allowed to fall on, let us say Q1, then it was found that the electromagnetic waves which were produced over here got enhanced. Means what? Simple language में बोले तो when these two spheres were very close to each other, then it was found that electrons were jumping from one sphere to another sphere. Electrons get emitted from one sphere to another sphere. They were emitted from one sphere and they got collected by the another sphere. So here, if UV light is incident on, so in fact we can say that if UV light is incident on second sphere, remember both will do, but what I want to explain is electrons will be emitted from this, also electron will be emitted and it will be moving towards Q2. right? In the same way, electrons will be emitted from here and will be moving towards Q1. So this will be appropriate one, that electrons will be emitted from Q2. We are allowing the UV rays to fall on sphere Q2. So electrons will be emitted from it, right? And since Q1 is positively charged, it was moving towards Q1. If you make UV light fall on sphere Q1, then also electrons will be emitted, right? But we will discuss this after or in Hallward's experiment, right? So that we will discuss there only what will happen. But for time being, if I will make UV light to fall on Q2, then electrons will be emitted, and this is negatively charged sphere. Electrons are also negatively charged, so you may think that both will repel each other, so electron will not be collected by Q2. So obviously electron will not be collected by Q2, but electrons are emitted, we can say that. Clear? Now here, this was the observation made by Hertz experiment in 1887. This observation was made by Hertz in 1887, right? So you can say that Hertz was the first scientist who observed the phenomena of photoelectric effect for the first time, right? He observed photoelectric effect for the first time. Now his experimental observation was carried forward by Hallward. Now what he did, he took a zinc plate which is negatively charged. Let us say this is that Zn plate, and this plate is negatively charged. Initially this plate is negatively charged, right? He connected this plate to an electroscope. Now what is electroscope and all that you are knowing, right? You have come across this electroscope and all in chapter 1. So let us say this is that electroscope, and here we have connected gold foil to this end of the rod. Now how electroscope works, you are already knowing this thing, that if we connect this electroscope with a charged particle, then there will be deflection between the two gold foils, and by calculating the deflections or by knowing the value of this deflection, you can estimate the charge on the given plate. So this zinc plate was connected with an electroscope, and UV lights were allowed to fall on this zinc plate. UV rays were falling on this zinc plate. Then it was found that initially the zinc plate is negatively charged. This zinc plate is negatively charged, right? So when UV light was falling on this plate, it was found that the gold foil of the electroscope were coming closer to each other. Closer to each other means what? The charge on the zinc plate was decreasing, right? So here we have a negatively charged plate, right? And its charges are decreasing. What does this means? इसका सिंपल मतलब ये होता है कि इफ वी हैव नेगेटिवली चार्ज प्लेट और उसके ऊपर चार्ज डिक्रीज हो रहे हैं, मींस नेगेटिवली चार्ज पार्टिकल्स आर एमिटेड फ्रॉम द प्लेट. मान लो ये हमारे पास एक प्लेट है, राइट? लेट अस से दिस इज Zn प्लेट, zinc plate, right, which is initially negatively charged. Now if we allow UV rays to fall on it, if we allow UV rays to fall on it, the charge on plate decreases. Means what? Negative plate became less negative. उसका मतलब ये होता है कि negatively charged particles are emitted from it. So it means that negatively charged particles are emitted from it. Later on, after J.J. Thomson experiment, right, it was found that these negatively charged particles are nothing but electrons. It was given name as electron. So you can say that when UV light falls on a negatively charged plate, the plate became less negative, indicating that electrons are emitted from it. So अगर हमारे पास एक negatively charged plate है and UV light falls on it, then the plate became less negative, जिसका मतलब ये होता है कि electrons are emitted from it. Clear? In the same way, instead of negatively charged plate, suppose we will take a neutral plate. So next what he did, he took a neutral plate. This is neutral, or you can say that it is not having any charge. Now UV rays were allowed to fall on this plate also. So it was found that neutral plate became positively charged. पहले हमने क्या किया, we took a negatively charged plate, उसके ऊपर we allowed the UV light to fall on it. So we found that the negatively charged plate became less negative. Simple language में a plate is negatively charged and it became less negative means it has lose these negative charges. So इसने अपने negative charge lose किए हैं. It means that electrons are emitted from it. Now the next experiment which he performed, in that उसने एक neutral plate ली. Now UV light was allowed to fall on that neutral plate. तो जैसे UV light that neutral plate पे fall होती है, then it was found that the plate became positively charged. Now आपने already ये चीज पढ़ी हुई है in chapter 1 that if we have neutral sphere, then how you can convert it into positively charged sphere by induction, right? So you have to remove electron from it to make it positively charged. In the same way, यहाँ पे neutral plate became positively charged. It means that electrons are removed from it. Removed means we can say that electrons are emitted from it. So here also we got emission of electrons. So here also electrons were emitted. Electrons were emitted. Here also electrons were emitted. Next what he did is he took one positively charged plate. पहले negatively, then neutral, and then finally a positively charged plate, and he allowed the UV rays to fall on it. Then he found that ये जो positively charged plate थी, it became more positive. जो positive charged plate थी, that became more positive. उसका मतलब ये हुआ कि again electrons are emitted from it. कोई भी चीज positively charged है, it became more positive means you have removed some negative charge from it, right? So here also the final conclusion was electrons are emitted from it. Electrons were emitted from it. So you can say that if we take a negatively charged plate, if we take a neutral plate, or if we take a positively charged plate and UV light is allowed to fall on this, three possibilities है, right? या तो plate positively charged हो सकती है, या plate neutral होगी, or it is negatively charged, right? So this all three condition he has used, and he found that in all these three cases electrons were emitted if we allow UV rays to fall on this plate. So here electrons were emitted. Clear? Pause this video and copy if you want to. Now the last topic for this video lecture is Lenard's experiment, right? Lenard's experiment. So what is Lenard's experiment? Look, Hertz ने जो observe किया था, that experiment was carried forward by Hallwich, and the experiment which was performed by Hallwich was carried forward by Lenard's. Now Lenard one step ahead, right? What he did, he prepared a special kind of tube. He made a special kind of tube to get the emission of electron, to check how this emission of electrons or the emitted electrons behaves under the applied potential difference, right? उसने एक स्पेशल टाइप की ट्यूब बनाई टू चेक कि ये जो इलेक्ट्रॉन्स एमिट हो रहे हैं, हाउ दे विल बिहेव इन द प्रेजेंस ऑफ एक्सटर्नल फील्ड. So he prepared a special kind of tube over here. This portion of the tube was made up of quartz, a highly transparent material, and it was named as quartz window. Clear? Now in this tube, at two ends of the tube, he placed two electrodes. He placed electrodes, right? And both these electrodes were connected to a rheostat in order to change the potential between the two plates, and an external battery. Right, this is the rheostat. With the help of this rheostat, you can change the voltage across the two electrodes. Now you can see that this electrodes was connected with negative of the battery and this electrode was connected with positive terminal of the battery. This electrode was negatively charged, so it was given name as cathode, right? But we are not going to call it as cathode. The another name which was given to it was photosensitive surface. It was given name as photosensitive surface, and this was the first name, this is the second, and third, it is also known as emitter. We are going to call it as emitter. Why? Because it is going to emit electrons, so it is known as emitter. This plate was positive with respect to cathode, so it was named anode, right? But we are not going to call it as anode, we will call this as collector. Why collector? Because it is going to collect the electrons emitted from the emitter, right? The electrons which are emitted from the emitter will be collected by this collector, so it is named as collector. So here I will write C for collector. Remember, this C is not for cathode, here C is for collector, and this is E for emitter, E for emitter. Now UV light were allowed to fall on this emitter. So from this quartz window, UV light were allowed to fall on this emitter. As a result, electrons will be emitted from it, right? These electrons will be emitted from the emitter, which will move towards the collector because of its positive potential. So electrons were collected by this collector. Now in order to measure a current, if we want to measure a current, we can connect here a microammeter, because the range of the current which was produced here was microampere. So obviously here vacuum is there, and because electrons are emitted from emitter and are collected by the collector, the circuit will get completed and the current will start flowing to the circuit, right? So here electrons were emitted. This was the proof that electrons are emitted and current is flowing to the circuit. Otherwise cathode and anode, or emitter and collectors, are not directly connected with each other. So it is an open circuit. Open circuit means current should not flow through it, but current is flowing on incidenting UV light on the emitter, which means that electron might have emitted from the emitter and reached the collector. Here most important thing which you have to remember is this emitted electrons will be emitted from the surface of the metal plate, not from inside the metal plate, right? That we are going to discuss in Einstein explanation and all that. So here electrons are emitted from the surface of photosensitive material, or you can say that from the surface of the emitter, and it is received by the collector. It is received by the collector, and current of the order of microampere flows to the circuit. Clear? Now if you keep on increasing this voltage, it was found that the current increases, right? So this was the first observation made by Lenard. In our next video lecture, we are going to discuss about experimental study of photoelectric effect. We are going to study about the experimental study of photoelectric effect by changing the potential between the two terminals, right? That is, emitter will make positive and collector we are going to make negative, and we will study. Here in this case, if you keep on increasing the voltage, the current was increasing, and if you decrease the voltage, current was decreasing. That's it, right? Nothing more. Now the electrons here so emitted were given name as emitted electrons. Emitted electrons were named as photoelectrons. नहीं, both this electron, normal electron and photoelectrons are not different. दोनों एक ही है, right? Emitted electrons are named as photoelectron. So photoelectron कोई different type के electron नहीं है. They are electrons only, but they are emitted due to light, UV radiations or electromagnetic wave, and hence the name was given as photoelectrons. Clear? Remember here, These are normal electrons only, but they are emitted due to the light. Here light was assumed to be made up of, after this experimental evidence, it was proved that light is behaving like a particle. This light was believed to be made up of particle known as photons. So we know that light is made up of photons, and due to these photons electrons are emitted, so it was given name as photoelectrons. So photoelectrons. So these are the electrons which are emitted due to photons, and hence the name was given as photoelectrons. The current which is produced here was given name as photoelectric current. The current which is produced here was given name as photoelectric current, and the whole effect was given name as photoelectric effect. The whole effect was given name as photoelectric effect. Clear? So this is the initial stage, or you can say that this was the beginning of the particle nature of light. This was the evidence that a light can behave like a particle. This proves that light is behaving like a particle. Now what actually happened, what is stopping potential, what is frequency, threshold frequency, work function, we have discussed in that, we have discussed that the minimum frequency required. So why that minimum frequency? This all things we are going to discuss in our next video lecture. Till then, take care, keep on reading, keep on preparing. Thank you.